Every hobby has things marketed towards them that are kind of silly goose stuff. And today we're going over the top 5 biggest wastes of money in the reptile hobby. Things you do not need, but are marketed as if you do. My name's Adam. This is Diamond. That noise is a white tree frog. You're watching Wicked's Wicked Reptiles. Stick around. Not right now. Come on. Stick around. Every time I go into a reptile shop, I see things that just kind of make me wonder who would buy these things. So today I went to a reptile shop and bought all the stuff that make me wonder, why do people buy these things? There are just certain things that you don't need, and there's a substitute. So I'm going to tell you the things that you don't need and then what you can use instead that would cost you next to nothing, or if it costs you the same price, it is actually useful. So let's just start. Number 5, feeding rocks and devices. This is dumb. Okay, let's just open it. First of all, the packaging sucks, by the way. Who even makes this? Exoterra. Nothing against Exoterra. I have a lot of their products, and a lot of their products are good. But this is not one of them. So basically, it's a rock, and it has a plug, so that's where the crickets come out. But how do you get the crickets in this thing? A giant, wide open, like how? How are you going to get crickets in this that they're not just going to jump out immediately? And let's suppose that you do, okay? So now you have it all closed up, however it's supposed to... Stupid. Okay, now it's closed up, and you have this little plug, okay? And then you take the plug out, and then the crickets come out. Or they don't. So let's suppose you have a bearded dragon, which is a diurnal creature. Crickets are generally not. They're out during, well, the day sometimes, but they're nocturnal, technically. So they're going to come out of here at night, where the dragon wants to eat during the day. So they're just going to pester your animal. So not good for diurnal reptiles. And even if you had a nocturnal reptile, like, I think the idea is that it's easy to like shake up vitamins in this, calcium, whatever, but this is dumb. And what did this cost me? Like $20 for this? So a much better option is something like a cricket keeper, or just a lot of people will put them in bins with kind of a screen top, and then you just take the egg carton that you use to separate them to give them floor space, like surface area, and jiggle it out. Like there's so many better ways. Take a cup. You can take a cup, put little dusting in it, and put like either a cap on it or your hand and shake it up. This is stupid, is what I'm trying to say. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't buy things like this. Honestly, the only thing this would be good for is like, if you propped one side up and made like a hide out of it, I don't know. But even then, I think it's silly goose stuff. Silly goose stuff. Oh, also new tanks available at the link right here or in the, do I look stupid? Okay, all right, let's move on. Number 4, another stupid thing I bought today. These water dispenser, water hopper things. The good thing is they actually have the instructions on the side, which are as useful as the washing hand instructions in public bathrooms. You unscrew it, you fill it with water, you screw it back in, and then it dispenses water. The problem with these is how much time does it really save you, A, and B, what animal are you, like, it's ugly. It's so freaking ugly. What is it for? It says iguanas, which are arboreal and won't come down. Okay, no. Anoles, same thing. Geckos, hermit crabs, I don't know anything about. Small snakes and lizards. So a small snake is gonna get in here somehow, right, and drown itself. So don't do that. Frogs, like it's just stupid. Like this is good for nothing. And what did I pay for this? $12.99 plus tax. And I live in Canada, so the tax was like what, 13%? Instead, a water bowl. You can buy these clay, I guess they're pots, like for pots, like pot saucers at the dollar store for like $1, or in the States, probably like 25 cents because everything's inflated in Canada. They're glazed, they're easy to clean, they're just better. Or you can use deli cups, you can use other things from the dollar store like washing pans. Like there are so many things. This is $13 plus tax, $15, and it's stupid. It doesn't even make any sense. Not only that, but like how much, like I said before, you're not saving any time. It's a small water basin, so this thing is going to refill all the time. A lot of these reptiles, I mean, they want a place to soak anyway, and this isn't big enough for basically anything to soak. So that's another reason that it's stupid. It's ugly. It's very ugly. Like, even if you took the label off of this, you have a bottle sticking it. Like, it's just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So instead, just get a regular water bowl. Not only that, but this is going to fill with bacteria quickly, because the water is just going to sit there. One of the things with RO systems, reverse osmosis, which is the type of water I put in my misting systems and feed to my reptile, or put in my reptile water bowls, it says do not let the tank, the RO system tank, be full for too long, because bacteria will accumulate, which is why even if I don't use it, I drain it at least once a day. This, if you left it for 3 or 4 days, like this is a decent amount of water, does it say? 22 fluid ounces. So about over half a liter. So this could last for over a week. So you know what this might be good for? In a pinch, if you go on vacation, but even then, just get a bigger water bowl. This thing, stupid. Number 3, night lights. Oh boy. Okay, so first of all, a lot of people ask me about this, and I understand, because when I was first into reptiles, the guy at the reptile store, PetSmart or whatever it was, PetSmart, I'm pretty sure, at night you have to keep heat on it, so you have to have a red bulb, because red bulbs, like, they still see red. They'll still see the light. If it doesn't matter if it's blue, red, whatever. If you want to offer heat and you want it to be from above, from like a bulb source, from like a ballast, then use a ceramic heat emitter. It screws in just like a light bulb, and it produces heat just like a halogen light, but it doesn't have any light emitted from it. Not only that, but there's better ways. If you have a PVC enclosure, you can use a radiant heat panel, you can use under tank heating. A lot of the times, room temperature is going to be fine for a night drop, depending on the species, of course, right? Do your research. But the problem with these lights is it does bother a lot of species. Now, there is still research that's being done on what type of light they can see, how much they can see, how much it bothers them. But in my opinion, in my experience, a red or blue light is going to affect how that animal acts. Because a lot of these animals, leopard geckos, crested geckos, whatever, like bearded dragons, these animals don't need light at night at all. Even if you wanted to offer a little bit because, oh, they have the moon for certain periods, like they don't really need it. If you really want to offer some sort of light, or you want to view your animal at night, which is a legitimate thing, what I would recommend is using like a Govee strip light, because if you have something like this rack right here, you could literally put it a bunch of enclosures without doing like individual bulbs, and LEDs take a lot less energy and don't produce any heat. So it just is easier in a lot of ways, or better in a lot of ways. Or you could use like a blue light flashlight. There's just so many better ways to do it. I'll link the Govee lights that I use below, because even a whole strip light, even if you'd only need like just enough for a, I don't know, 2-foot enclosure, is going to be cheaper than a ballast and a bulb. And the LEDs don't burn out like the bulb does. So in general, night lights are, again, silly goose stuff. You don't need them. Or I use these for my videos. They're aperture lights, so they're kind of expensive, but like there's cheaper options. And you actually just stick this, tell a ghost story. You can just stick this on top of one of the enclosures and then remove it after. They're rechargeable. Anyway, that's how I fill this side of my face. Okay, let's move on. Number 2, Reptile branded halogen lights. Now, if you want a deep heat emitter, like a deep heat projector, I don't really know about this. The jury is still out unless you work for a company that makes them, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking if you use just halogen lights, which are basically floodlights, and they're branded for reptiles, you're paying too much money. These are going to be $10, $15, $20, $30, $50 sometimes. And I'm not talking about the ones that produce UVB. I'm just talking about the ones that produce heat and light. Instead, you can use ones from the dollar store or from a hardware store. If you need 50 watts, which is generally what I use for most reptiles, say for like Ackies and maybe even bearded dragons, like things that need really hot basking spots. But if you want something for like, I don't know, a corn snake or a ball python or something that doesn't need really high basking spots, and you're going to use a 50-watt bulb, you can buy them for $2.50 at the dollar store, $2.50 Canadian. So what's that, 13 cents American, right? I'll make the joke forever. Our dollar is a joke. Anyway, that's what I've used for years. In fact, my very first video, this is video 345, on video number 1, it was about like things to save money or whatever. It was like vertical orientation. It was super silly.
Colder than a mother-in-law's heart out here, but it's breeding season.
Reptiles are fornicate, which means they gotta eat. But I went to a dollar store, and the same dollar store I go to now, and showed you these exact things. So I've used these forever, for longer than I've had a channel, and they've never failed me. Sure, they're gonna burn out sometimes, but not more regularly than the Reptile branded ones, which are gonna cost literally sometimes 10 times as much. Now, if you need something that's gonna be 75, 100, 150, 200, 250 watts, always get the right ballast, right? So don't put a 250 watt bulb in a 150 watt rated ballast, like you're gonna have a fire. Don't do that. You can go to the hardware store and buy floodlights. When I was a kid, we had, Christmas decorations, and we had a skating rink in our backyard, Canada, and we used floodlights. I use these exact same floodlights now for these higher powered bulbs, up to 250 watts. It's not that these lights that you can buy at reptile stores are stupid, it's just that they're overpriced because they have a picture of a bearded dragon on them. Or if you buy them from a hardware store, it's gonna cost less than half, maybe even 10% of the price in some cases, and do the exact same job just as efficiently. Number one, you've heard me gripe about them before, heat rocks. These are the dumbest, most unsafe, dangerous, reckless products that you can have. Even if you put heat rocks on a thermostat, they're bound to fail. And if they fail, that means overheated reptile, burned reptile, dead reptile, fire, you die in the fire. It's not good at all. Don't buy heat rocks. They are garbage. In fact, the reptile store I went to today, I wanted to go buy one. They don't even carry them because they are so stupid. I also go to a really great reptile store. Shout out to Niagara Exotics. I will preach your praises, sing your praises. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Forever. With that said, heat rocks are just useless. The idea is it's a rock that emits heat that gives like a basking platform, like a hotspot. But if you want to do that, use an under tank heater, something that's regulated a little bit better. A heat mat, heat tape, whatever, or like how it works in nature, use a halogen light, which we talked about before, so that it projects heat onto a basking spot like a piece of slate, a tile, a rock, whatever. In a lot of my enclosures, my Schneider skink, my Aki Diamonds enclosure, that's what I do. There's a high degree, high wattage is what I'm trying to say. I'm not smart enough to make these videos. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Why though? A high wattage light, and below there is like a rock to capture it. And the rocks I literally picked up out of my garden on a trail. So, it cost me next to nothing. At the end of the day, I am trying to help you do what I do, which is save money, because what's the point of spending all this money that you don't need to spend? This hobby is expensive enough. And why are you gonna use products that, sure, like I like Exoterra and Zoo Med and Zilla. I've got nothing wrong to say with those companies. I just think that there's better options, and I'm doing my best to help you save a little bit of money, because at the end of the day, why not spend more money on enrichment, feeders, more reptiles, better caging, whatever. It just makes way more sense to me. So there you go. Let me know in the comment section below, is this stupid? What do you want to see next week? I take all the video ideas out of the comment section. If you don't mind, hit like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel, takes a couple clicks for you, and changes the channel the way that YouTube promotes it. And as always, a special thanks to the Patreon supporters. You guys are freaking amazing. For as little as $1 a month, you get discounts on the merch. I still feel silly wearing a muscle shirt with no muscles, but whatever. They're on there now. It's brand new. Happy summer, guys. It's freaking hot. Even in Canada, what is it? 28 degrees. So what's that, like 80 degrees? Tortoises are outside. You want to do a video? Okay, we're talking about Patreon here. You get discounts on the merch, extra videos early, egg cutting, like all this sort of stuff for as little as $1 a month. And that's it. Because I do videos twice a week, that means that I'll see you on Thursday.